Hello, my beautiful soul family. Welcome to Monday Mastery, where typically we would take a pulse on the energy of the week prior, get a sense for what it is we were experiencing, and call in some guidance on how to move forward. This week is a bit different, though. Yes, from a solar weather perspective, we had another mild week. From a Schumann resonance perspective, there wasn't a whole lot to speak of. From a world shifting perspective, there is more than we can begin to discuss. And it is the beginning of the end, which might sound strange to say is actually a good thing, even though it doesn't really look like it. It was interesting that we started last week, Sunday, Monday, with a pretty significant and palpable dip in energy. The week prior was not too terrible. It was the first of the two eclipses we are currently in between and about to see the second on October 3rd. Thank goodness that will wrap up shortly. But the chain of events that have been put into motion likely will last beyond this eclipse season. It's interesting because there is an overwhelming sense of big things that are in play, and yet this message is to reassure you and to give guidance on how to move forward through what we are experiencing. While Sunday, Monday may have seemed like a typical dip, usually we get those dips and they bring up some of the shadows and we feel a little frustrated and aggravated, and it brings to light some things that we need to address and bring into consciousness and love, as we talked about last week. And certainly that still is significant. And while sometimes it can seem like what you're dealing with on an individual level at home in your own being can feel so separate from the collective whole, and yet at the same time, because of unity, because it is all connected, and because as within so without is creating not just your reality but the reality that we all collectively are experiencing, what came up for you is still very important. I also find it interesting that that energy that came up on Sunday, Monday last week, for me, brought a very palpable sense of something's up this week. And I don't want to ever spread fear. So if I have that kind of sensation, there's not much that can be done in that moment other than watching with curiosity and trust and faith and surrender in the divine. This experience that the world is watching, the Hurricane Helene that has gone through the eastern states of Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and North Carolina, obviously is highly impactful and unusual, to say the least. I will personally throw my opinion in, which I rarely do, and say that geoengineering should be illegal, but we'll just put that on the shelf. If you don't know what that is, it's time to do some research. Look into things for yourself and know that you are not going to be offered this information if you don't go find it. It would seem that the perfect storm has hit, and we have other factors like the Teamster strike or the port strike or the financial reset that is scheduled for tomorrow that little is known about. Many people wouldn't even understand what that means. Depending on where you're at in the process of awakening, you might be in a spiritual awakening. You might be in an awakening of waking up to other things that are happening behind the scenes that have been happening for a very long time that not many people talk about. We kind of look the other way and pretend like it doesn't exist because we don't want to rock the boat or seem crazy. And I usually don't speak of these kinds of things. Very careful about what is said so that the message that is most important is received, because it's really not about what we are experiencing, although that might seem insensitive to say. It's rather about what can we do about it. And I have never been one to sit in gossip circles or complain at the water cooler for that very reason, because where my attention goes, energy flows, and that is the source of my creation. And I refuse to create more of the same. So it might be daring to say that it is go time. It is go time. It is the beginning of the end, and that is a good thing. We do not allow fear to be part of this process. This is what we came here for. If you are alive in this day and age, you are a key component in what is happening in the world. And it is never more important than it is right now to keep your eyes on the divine. Know your creator intimately, because the creator of the universe is the only one that can put this all back together. Right? This is a collective tower moment, and it will be far-reaching. It already is more far-reaching than we realize, or than the Mockingbird media will tell us. Careful with those keywords. Right? Remember that a tower moment means the crumbling of the tower, which means everything must crumble. Everything must fall down. And what happens after that crumbling is you are left with a lot of bricks that you get to put together and rebuild in a way that is beneficial to the collective whole. Let's also remember that this collective dark night of the soul, or collective tower moment that we're experiencing, is driven by, again, what is in us, the collective unhealed trauma, the hustle and grind culture, the busyness, the perceived priorities that have been gifted to us by previous generations have led us to a place where we can no longer ignore and continue to stuff down the crap, the shit that is living inside of you. And you play a significant role in what is happening right now. If you are not willing to face the demons and the shadows inside of you, I don't like to make people feel bad, but I have to say the truth. You are playing a role in what is being experienced out there today. And I own just as much of it. I lived in victimhood. I blamed everyone else. But what happens when we live in victimhood is we create a perpetrator. As within, so without means everything that we are experiencing right now is created by us collectively. That sucks. But it's also good news when you get past the tendency to wallow in self-pity and our tantrum parts throw their fit. You come to realize that when you take responsibility for what you've created, you also take back your power to be able to create something better. So as within, so without means you do play a critical role in what is created here today, and also what we do to fix it. So it starts with forgiveness. It starts with a commitment to going within and doing the work to figure out what is inside of you. What have you been ignoring? What have you been trying to deny? Let go of the beliefs of everyone else being the problem or the issue being outside of you, and do your work inside of you. Sweep in front of your own door. That's what you can do. Stop worrying about everybody else. Mind your own business. Maybe help a neighbor. Forgive them for how they voted. Create intimacy with the divine. And turn away from previous behaviors that have led to separation. Unify through love with your brothers and sisters. we have to remember that we are not playing a 3D game. What you see in the natural is not real. And for anybody listening, I'm using air quotes. What you see outside of you is a reflection of what has been within you and was created in the days, weeks, and months prior. When you start to realize you're not playing a 3D material game, you are playing a 5D supernatural game, you can start to understand the rules of the game called life so that we can create consciously instead of more of the same from our wounded trauma and unhealed places. Start to get familiar with what you're creating. We know that your thoughts create, your words create, and those stem from your beliefs. Those stem from your nervous system, and the vibration and the frequency of your body and your nervous system are always creating, whether you realize it or not. So if you're going to create, let's stop doing it by default, more of the same from the past. And let's bite the bullet. Do the hard thing. Go within. And yeah, I love to spread rainbows and sunshine and unicorn and butterflies. I love to make people feel good. I love to be encouraging. That's my primary goal. But sometimes you have to acknowledge the root of the weed. You can only go as high as the depth of your weeds, the depth of your roots. Show you where your foundation is and what you're creating from. So if you're an awakened being, a conscious being, focused on love and light, thank you for the work that you've done so far. But if you're still hiding in isolation, separating yourselves from the normies because they're not awake enough, we need you. You can't keep doing that anymore. It's time to move from being a light worker and only working with love and light to being a light warrior, to being willing to go to battle with the crap that is creating this. It's a complex conversation, and I'll probably do another video. I know I'll be speaking to the 3D rules versus the 5D rules, so make sure you check out what's coming later this week. It's a difficult conversation because as within, so without means we are creating this, but it's not solely us. There is a spectrum of vibrations, emotions. You can be in bliss and love and light. You can also be in fear, anger, resentment. And with those lower frequencies, fear, isolation, separation, you invite in or allow in. Invite would indicate intention, allowing inadvertently these lower energies that take root and take form and then create things that we don't want to create. So as a light warrior, you have to be willing to do the hard thing, to take your power back and say no more. Instead of pleading to the divine, please take this away from me, please help me, please fix this. No. Enough. You declare your certainty. It is done. This is my I'm done moment. No more shit will be created through me, period. Point blank. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. No lower energy is allowed in my space. I am one with the divine. I bind my mind to the mind of Christ. You are not welcome here. Lower frequencies and energies must yield when you take your power back. There are people starving, willing to die for a bottle of water. Because you want to stay in isolation. You won't shine your light. What's it going to take? are coming together, and the unity of humanity is how we end the suffering. That requires your healing. That requires your shadow work. That requires your commitment to being a light worker and taking your power back. Get off your couch and be seen. Speak. Heal so that you can speak. Remember, your emotions are your source of creation. So this powerful drive that is within me cannot be suppressed. We will create an army of light warriors, and we will take humanity back from the depths of darkness. There's too many who need us to sit back and watch and scroll to another video. Okay. The evidence that you see in the natural is not real. Okay. We are supernatural. Our creator is the creator of the universe and can create anything we need: provision, helicopters, food, water, all the things in a moment. We are unlimited beings created by an unlimited creator. But here's the catch. He, she, it, they, them, all that is limited by you. What do you believe? What do you think? What do you perceive? What do you anticipate? I believe the earth rift is happening, and the wars are happening, and the atrocities are happening because humanity needs to be woken up so that we come together, so that we unify. And I wish it didn't have to come that way, but that's the timeline I'm believing in. What are you believing in? Do you believe it's out of your hands? Do you believe it'll always be this way? Do you believe we'll never win? What are you creating? We end the suffering through love and unity. Seeing value in every single individual, no matter what. No matter how awake, no matter how they vote. Without exception. A Christ-like love. Willing to sacrifice everything. So it's time to get pissy with it. Time to fight back. Time to say enough is enough. And I get to say what energies dance in my space. And as each of us unifies and grows that field of authority over the lower energies, we will win. It's just a question of how much hardship do you need to go through before you come to a place of finally saying, okay, enough is enough. I'm done. Remember, you are not a victim. And when you decide to step out of that, then you stop creating the perpetrators. We are children of the creator of the universe. You are the favored creation. All of us as humanity. You are royalty. You are valuable. It's time to start acting like it. We have to learn to wield our authority in Christ. Okay, Christ is within. Christ is a state of being. It is also a person, an energy that you can connect with, that wants to be your companion, wants to heal your heart, wants to hold your hand as we go through this process. You have to allow that to come in. That's where you're truly powerful. It's time to see past the illusions and the veils and the perceptions of weakness or brokenness or things that keep you playing small. Because God is only limited by you and the beliefs and the perceptions that you choose. We came here for such a time as this. We came here to be light warriors. We came to take back humanity from the grips of the darkness, to save the children. We starve what needs to die by withholding our focus and attention. Your emotion, your beliefs, your thoughts, your power, your energy is directed in the area where you put your focus and attention. What you focus on grows. So we starve what needs to die by ignoring it. And I know that sounds counterintuitive. I'm not suggesting being an ostrich with your head in the sand. I just told you to do some research. Be aware and then focus on the solution. Unity, love, coming together. Better education systems. True health systems. Dare I say the GONT word? I will not, but leaders who take care of us. Start to focus on what you want to grow. Notice what's important to you, what pulls your heartstrings, what do you care most about? The divine put that on your heart to lead you towards your purpose, the thing that you are meant to do in the world, how you can help make the world a better place. You are needed. Every single one of you has a purpose, has a mission. Perfectly imperfect for your purpose, turning pain into purpose. You are meant to help others who have gone through what you have gone through. Your first step is healing so that you can move into thriving and teach others how to do the same. Okay. If you don't follow me consistently, it's worth mentioning. Trauma healing, the body keeps the score. Get inside the body. That is why the divine gifted me the gift of trauma spotting through source tapping. Your body is naturally designed to heal. Your trauma is easy to heal once you learn how to do it. I have courses if you want to do it self-paced for very low cost. Otherwise, you can work with me one-to-one and receive the support that you need. Either way, you will get it. I will assure you of that. There is no excuse. There's no reason to continue to live in a place of stuckness. Come to that I'm done moment. It's time. There's no more waiting. Okay. Funny. My next note, no more waiting. Move. It's time to move. Get off your couch. Go for a walk. Go for a run. Buy better groceries. Believe in yourself. Write love notes to yourself. Put them on your mirror. Go into the shadows. Go inward and figure out what's in you and what is creating to this collective dark night of the soul. Become the light warrior you were made to be. Call in provision. Call in protection. Call in healing for me, for you, for us. Those people stuck in the mountains, those people without power, the people next to the lab that just exploded, the people who have been dealing with trains who are blowing up, all the things, all the keywords I was not supposed to use. Call in protection, call in provision, call in healing. Enough is enough. Wield your spiritual authority. They cannot touch you when you realize who you are. Bind your mind to the mind of Christ. Become one with Christ. Unify with your brother and sister. Create intimacy with the divine. They cannot touch us when we realize who we are. It's time. It's time to move. Okay. Declare it so. When you do, when you really believe, it's already done. It's already done. There's a verse that says, not by works, but by faith alone. Yeah, action's important. It doesn't mean you get to sit on the couch and just believe, but it's your belief is everything. And once you declare it so, it is already done. Unify your mind with Christ. And remember, it is always darkest before the dawn. More is coming. Be prepared. But if you are creating intimacy with the divine and you have unified your mind with Christ, you will be protected. And you play a critical role in the recovery efforts once this is done. Remember, collective dark night of the soul. For any of you that have been in the dark night of the soul, you got to get to bottom. You got to get to the bottom of the barrel. And we're in this with humanity. So let's start doing our part. We don't want to make it last any longer than we have to. On the other side, it is going to be beautiful. If you're anything like me, you're on the other side of this. You are already a spiritual warrior, and you know there isn't anything I can't heal from. There isn't anything I can't create. There isn't anything I can't receive. And beautiful, amazing dreams beyond anything you could ever fathom are available to you and will continue to pour in once you get to the other side. People like me, and hopefully you, if you are also a spiritual warrior, are already creating the new systems. Trauma spotting through source tapping will help humanity heal. How many people do you think have just experienced trauma that are going to need trauma healing? You're needed. You're part of the recovery efforts. You came here for such a time as this. Stop playing small. Stop wasting time. Stop dragging your feet. Enough is enough. It's your I'm done moment. Let's do this thing. Reach out if you're ready to heal your trauma and need help. That would be my area of expertise. Otherwise, feel free to just come say hi. Let me know if you have questions. I'm happy to point you in the right direction towards your path as best I can. I love you, my friends. I'll see you on the next one. Namaste.